You get a little bit of everything here in Kingley Vale, which is really nice. And I had something else to say. What was it?
I don't know. Let's take a look at the view while Daniel thinks about what he's doing.
Welcome back to the channel. We're Dan and Stephen, two guys who have lived in our little camper van for nearly 2 years. We've navigated the seasons, recently travelled through Europe, and now we're back to facing the UK's tricky rules on all things van life, which is always such fun. This week we head on an awe-inspiring walk that takes us straight into the heart of a hidden fantasy world. So grab a tea, wine or whatever you fancy, and come along dear. You last found us in Arundel diving into a bag of chips. That's where we started our day as we prepared ourselves for a walk at the western end of the South Downs National Park, and the place we were heading to sounded very special indeed. Okay, so we've arrived at Kingley Vale, so we're at West Stoke car park. We were a bit worried about whether we'd get any spaces or not, because looking online, one, it didn't look very big, two, we weren't sure if there was a height barrier, three, we weren't sure if camper vans were even allowed to park full stop. You know, you never know how it's going to go, but luckily we're glad we waited till today. So today's Monday. If we'd come on the Sunday, I reckon this car park might have been full up. So we've come here, plenty of spaces to park. But yeah, the walk through Kingley Vale starts here, and there's other options to park as well, but I think this is the best place to access it. So we're going to start here. It's about a 15-20 minute walk to the trail, and then the trail takes us through the woodlands and the Yew Tree forest, which is what we're here for, and then also to something called the Devil's Humps, I believe. So that is an ancient structure. I think it's an Iron Age thing. Do you know what? I'm not even going to say anymore because I can't remember, but it's something with two humps. They're ancient kind of forts, settlements kind of thing on a hill, and they're meant to give you really good views across the channel all the way to the Isle of Wight on a good day. And today looks like a good day potentially. So yeah, that's what we're going to do. It doesn't look too long. Even Stephen's not too bothered about it so far, so all looking good. All right, let's go. Okay, so one of the reasons we're here, apart from the fact to see the yew trees, which look absolutely amazing from the pictures, and the fact that some of them are over 1,000 years old. No, wait, start again. Now, the yew trees are part of a fairly big,
Can't get it right. Take 59.
Take 59. If this doesn't work, we're just putting in a voiceover in again, okay, because it's so much easier. But basically, we're in Kingley Vale, and we're here. One of the main reasons we're here is to see the yew trees. Some of them are over 1,000 years old. Now, it's meant to be one of the biggest yew tree woodlands in England, if not the biggest, because we lost a huge amount of them over the centuries, and it's rare to find woodlands with yew trees making up the bulk of it these days. So what happened in the 1400s, Edward IV actually put a tax out that required all ships arriving at English ports to pay a tax of 4 yew tree bow staves, I think, per ton of cargo per ship upon entering the port. If I haven't said that correctly, I'll write it differently, I'll put it differently in the description. What this ultimately meant, however, is that people were then on the lookout for yew trees. So there was plenty at the time, and they kind of got decimated because the wood was so valuable, and the wood is also used to make bows as well. So yeah, we lost a lot of yew trees. So it's actually incredible then that the one here, just outside Chichester, somehow remains.
And other important facts: the sky is blue, the grass is green, and so are the leaves.
So far, this is kind of offering a bit of everything, which is really nice. Including Steve's favourite thing, a hill.
Yay.
You love it. You love it.
No, I don't.
You love it. Of course you do. Why would you do that? Why would you say these things?
Falsification of the facts.
No, you're just in denial, maybe. Legend has it that in these two burial mounds, I think in these two anyway, the men of Chichester were said to have defeated a Viking raid in the year 894, and it's alleged that these mounds, many of the bodies of the Vikings, were actually buried here, giving them their other name of the King's Graves. But what's also interesting is many of these dead Vikings that were defeated many of their corpses were alleged to have been left among the yew trees, and it is said that the ghosts of these Vikings actually haunt the yew trees, and they come alive at night basically, so the trees start moving. We should have come at night.
That would have been fun.
Yeah.
Scary and creepy.
Absolutely terrifying, but we would have done it properly. So yeah, the ghosts of these Vikings are said to haunt the yew trees at night, and the yew trees are said to come alive because of this. So yeah, interesting little story there. But what we do know, or at least what is said, we don't actually know it for definite, is that many of the yew trees were planted here when these Vikings were defeated in the year 894 as a way to commemorate the victory, basically. So whether that's true or not, I'm not 100% sure, but it's an interesting little bit of history mixed with the nature walk as well. So you get a little bit of everything here in Kingley Vale, which is really nice. So really exciting walk, definitely would recommend it. Not too strenuous, bit of a hill, but we're at the top point now, so we're obviously going to go down. And I had something else to say. What was it?
I don't know. Let's take a look at the view while Daniel thinks about what he's doing. Oh, that looks nice.
Do you know what? If I had something to say, it would have been interesting. I would have said it, right? Somehow, on a simple circular trail, we've still managed to go the wrong way, and it means we have to go all the way back to the start in order to come back and see the yew trees. I think it's because on the trails that are listed on the signs around here, the Devil's Humps at the top, they're kind of just outside the trail, so to come back on, there's a couple of different paths there, and you can very easily get onto the wrong one. But it's okay, we're going to get back to the beginning, and the Yew Tree Trail is like right at the start, so we should be able to do that just fine without adding too much on. But eventually we found what we came for. Hidden among regular mixed woodland, a trail leads you to these mesmerising sleeping giants. Steeped in folklore and so scarce across Europe, the Yews of Kingley Vale feel like a privilege to behold, stirring your imagination as you walk among their gnarled limbs, feeling as if they might spring to life at any moment. So many of these yew trees are at least 500 years old. Some are over 1,000 years old, which is unbelievable when you think about it. But what's really interesting about them is that some of them, in fact a lot of them, and the older ones I think, are actually hollow inside. Not completely, but more or less hollow. And I think a lot of this is to do with the fungus that has grown on the outside and kind of eaten away at the inside. But somehow the yew tree actually I'm not going to say thrives, but it certainly, well, it might thrive, but it manages to adapt to this and still exist with only the outer shell effectively keeping it going, even though the inside has kind of been eaten out of sorts. So that's really amazing. So it sounds hollow, and you can see that through the little crevices it does look a little bit hollow, which I'll show you. Definitely an unusual tree, and as we've said before, not one you see very often in the UK or indeed most of Europe in great numbers like this. So yeah, definitely something to behold. So we'll leave you in this fairytale woodland, keeping it short and sweet this week. But join us next time as we take our camper van through more of the South Downs National Park as we explore what might just be the UK's most affluent city. Don't forget to like the video and share if you can, and press the subscribe button to, well, subscribe to our channel if you like, but it really helps us out. Thank you for watching and see you on the next one.